Well, hello everyone. Sorry my video is not the highest quality. I will be changing my software to be able to match what I need it to be. It's not going to be happening for a while, but I'm going over this deck. I need you guys to help me narrow this down or give me suggestions and cards that might turn out to be better ones than what I have now. Thus saying that, I really like my leader. And I like the way this deck is put together. If I can figure out where my cursor is. There it is. And we're going to start off by looking at it. It is Poe Dameron. And the action is to pay 1 and tap it, flip this leader, and attach him to an upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot on it. The epic action is a control 5. So if I have 5 resources, he becomes a 4/6 leader. If he's flipped for the 1 as the pilot, he is a 2/1 resistance pilot on a ship. You can also move it on the same turn. So I could attack with it on one turn. And then I can turn around and attach him to another one after I attack with it. Or I can attach it, whatever. I mean, there's different options. I'm not 100% sure on the rulings, but that's what I'm coming across. But this is what I got, and this is where I need help. I have 98 cards that I need to chunk down to at least between 50 and 60. I don't always run exactly 60, but I'm going to go through my list. I tend to like where I like a little bit more than just 50. So I'm starting off with BB-8. I have these ground units mainly to be pilots for my ship, or they could be a ground unit if I really need them to be. First one's BB-8. I am going with the colors of yellow, red, and white. Cunning, aggression, and heroism. BB-8 is a 1/4, and for 1 resource, you can also pilot. And you may pay 1. If you do, you can ready resistance units. So if you bring them into play, you have a resistance unit such as the black 1, for example. He would go on the black 1, and he would let him untap, and then he would give you a 3/5? Yeah, 3/5 for an attack. And then the unit itself will make it a 4/5. But we're not in the space units, but that's just an example. So that's kind of one way. And then, or you could throw down the black 1 and throw Poe Dameron himself on it, which would make it a 4/5 and then a 5/5. But either way, you get the point. You have Dagger Squadron Pilot. It's a resource 1, so he's either a 2/1 Dagger Squadron pilot, or he's a 2/1 piloting pilot for the ship itself. You have Independent Smuggler, who is a 1/1, could be a raid 1 as a 2/1 on attack, or it could be a 1/1 with a raid 1 for a ship, which still gives it a 2/1. Now these are brought in mainly because of the fact I want to maximize the air. But if I need a ground unit, I have one. R2-D2. R2 is a 1/4, or you can play it for 0 and you can put it on with an additional pilot. So this could actually give you 2 pilots with this guy. Anakin Skywalker, when he was a child, is a 2/3. He costs 2. He also costs 2 to pilot. And when you attach when you attach a unit, when attached unit attacks, you may return this upgrade to its owner's hand. So let's say you're hitting it for 2/3. You have another ship you want to attack with. You could return to hand, play it again, and then you can attack, and then you can return to hand, attack. I mean, it gives you a lot of options. Or it could be a unit, probably more not. Frisk. He has a 2 to drop. He's also a 2 to drop as a 3/2. He's also a pilot for 2. I read in hero, and you may defeat an upgrade that costs 2 or less when it's put in play. So that's another good thing. So if somebody else is playing pilots, you can get rid of pilots. Biggs Darklighter, he does a lot. He is a 3 to play as a 3/4, or he's a 1 to play as a pilot. As you notice, all these pilots are 1 or 2 to play mostly. R2 was a 0. And he gives them a 2/1 for a pilot. And if he's attached to a fighter, it gives you overwhelm. Attached to a transport, gives you a 0+1. And if attached to a speeder, it gains grit. Han Solo, he is a 4/5 with ambush for 5, which is not bad at all. And I love that when he's a pilot, you may attack with attached unit, and if it's the Millennium Falcon, it deals its combat damage before the defender. Poe Dameron, you can't deny what he does. He's a 6/6 for 5, and he does a lot of different things with the cards. If you discard 3 cards, you can do 1 of each. You can, sorry about that. You can deal 2 damage to a unit or base. A lot of times it's to the base. I mean, that's a 8 attack on a base. You can defeat an upgrade, so you can get rid of pilots. I keep wanting to say pirate. And an opponent discards a card from their hand. Most of the time, I've seen it being used for the first one, which is deal 2 damage to a unit or base, and usually to the base. But I have seen it be used to finish off people, and I've also seen it used up to get rid of upgrades. The last one is Han Solo. I'm playing... I hate when I do that. So the last one, sorry about that. Give me a second, technical difficulties, because my keyboard's touchy when I don't want to use it. But anyway, Han Solo is a 7-drop, 6/6, and he's an ambush. He deals his combat damage before the defender. So pretty cool. Again, I'm at 98. I have about 30 units to get rid of, or 30 things to get rid of. Here's the other things I'm looking at. And I'm sorry for the quality. I'm doing it on my laptop. And once I get the app I need to be able to do it on the laptop and show my face, then I will do this differently. So I know it's not that great right now, but I'm looking at really improving. So just be patient with me. Right now I have Cartel Turncoat. It's a 1-drop, which is why I have it. 2/3, and it also gives out a bounty of a draw card. I figured to throw the pilots on it and make it really big, and to be able to make it extra big, it's worth having that bounty because it's a 1-drop. So technically on your first play, you could do this, play R2, and then play another pilot. And then on the next turn, you can play another ship, move the pilot, attack with it, move the pirate over, and then add the leader as an upgrade on this. Or vice versa, or whatever. But it gives you a lot of different options. Anakin's Interceptor. I like if you have 15 more damage on base, it becomes a 4/3 for 2. Black 1, straight at them. Resistance Vehicle Fighter. While this unit is upgraded, gets a +1/+0. And on attack, if you control Poe Dameron as a unit, upgrade, or leader, he is exactly what I'm using. You may deal 1 damage to a unit on the attack. So not only could it be up to a 5 or 6 attack on 1 shot on turn 2, it could also do a damage to a unit on top of that to maximize it. Green Squadron A-Wing, everybody knows this, all-star. Can't deny that one. Red Squadron Y-Wing, I like the 3 indirect damage on a 1/3. He's small. I don't like how small he is. But again, you throw the upgrades on it, that'll more than make up for it. But I do like the fact he's 3 indirect damage on attack. So basically, that's 4 damage going out on his attack. And if you upgrade him, then it's other stuff too. Death Space Skirmisher. If you control another space unit, you may exhaust a unit. It doesn't matter what unit it is. He's a 3 for a 3/3. Droid Missile Platform is a 4/2. I like that 4 power. Throw some pilots on it, and that thing gets super huge really fast. And when it dies, and it's basically another K2SO, but in the air. but it's a 4/2, and when it dies, it will deal 3 indirect damage to a player. That is pretty awesome. Millennium Falcon, this is the new one. It is a 3/4 for 3. We all are familiar with those stats because that's what the other Falcon is. And you may play or deploy an additional pilot on this unit, and this unit gets +1/+0 for each pilot on it. So if you have, and here's the funny thing, and I think this would work this way. I don't know the piloting rules yet, I'll be honest, but you could technically have 3 pilots on this, I think. Because R2 says you can put this on with an addition of another pilot, which I think would make it so you could have an R2, a Han, and Fisk. I was trying to think of who else on that list without looking. Like I said, I tried to play this deck 3 times, and all 3 times my leader never popped up, and nobody wanted to play me because they don't know who the leader is. I understand that. I'd be the same way. On Karabast. So, this deck I think looks really good. It needs tweaked. I wanted to play it to see what I need to do to tweak it, but obviously since I can't play it yet, it's kind of hard to do. I'm shaking because this is on my lap. I don't have a desk yet. But again, the Millennium Falcon, if I'm correct, you can have 2 pilots, and Archie says you can have this in addition with another pilot. So I'm assuming, and I haven't seen the rules to verify this yet. I will get there. But you have 2 pilots in R2 that can go on Millennium Falcon. That could make it a 6/4 plus whatever bonuses from the pilots. So this could be essentially be a 6/4, 8/4. It could be a 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12 attack on one shot. That's pretty cool. Then, of course, you got the other Millennium Falcon, which is ready right from the start. And you got to pay 1 to keep it on board or get rid of it. And that's not going to be a big deal because, obviously, rotating is good. Red 5, you may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit. It's a 3/4 for 3. As you can tell, it's a really low-cost deck, so it's going to be very aggro-y. Red 3 makes most of my units a +1/+0 with a raid, because all heroism units are +1/+0, so there's a lot of heroism units in it. I've also thought about doing For a Cause I Believe in it, but I just don't know if I have enough for that. Sabine's Masterpiece, I really, really like what it is. 3/3 for 3. And if you control a blue unit, you heal 2 damage from a base, which would be your own. If it's a green unit, give an experience token to a unit. And then these last 2 are us, which is deal 1 damage to a unit or a base and exhaust or ready a resource. So basically, if somebody's getting ready to play Fader, you can get rid of the Fader. And if somebody's, let's say, has the 3/1 Cloud Rider, then you can turn around and do the 1 damage to him and kill it. Because most likely having units on the board is not going to be a problem for us. Black Squadron Scout Wing. When you play an upgrade on this unit, you may attack with this unit, and it gets +1/+0 for this attack. So it's a 4/6 that becomes a 5/6 or a 6/6. I'm just moving this down a little bit. One of my favorite cards from the last set is Geonosis Droid Fighter. You can exploit it. So you can exploit it twice, so it could be a 1-drop for a 3/2. I don't really want to make it a 1-drop, but we could. But when you do that, it is a 3/2 for 5. And when played, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 3 or less to its owner's hand. A waylay on a fighter. Pretty cool. And Tactical Heavy Bomber. Again, doing the whole indirect damage. It's a 3/5. You can make it a lot bigger. You can deal indirect damage equal to this unit's power to the defending player. And if basically, whatever power this is, that's indirect damage on attack. For the events, I have Shoot First. Attack with a unit gets +1/+0 for this attack and deals its combat damage before the defender. So it's a first striker. Trench Run. That's one of the new cards from the set I really liked. Attack with a fighter unit. For this attack, it gets +4/+0 and gains on attack. Discard 2 cards from the defending player's deck. Deal unpreventable damage equal to the difference in the discarded card's cost to this unit. Sneak attack. Play a unit from your hand. It costs 3 less and enters play ready at the start of the regroup phase. Defeat it. Surprise strike adds 3 power to it. Colligan turn. Ready a fighter or transport unit with 6 or less power. Waylay, everybody knows that one. Return a unit to hand. And Commandeer, take control of a non-leader vehicle unit that costs 6 or less and does not have a pilot on it. If you do, ready it, and at the start of the next regroup phase, return that unit to its owner's hand. I think there's going to be a lot of air fight this next phase, this next set. And then for upgrades, we have smuggling compartment. We're using vehicles, so why not capitalize with that? Armed to the teeth. Attacked unit gains on attack. Give another friendly unit +2/+0 for this phase. I'm assuming we're going to be able to keep more than 1 or 2 units on the board because our units are cheap. And you can also smuggle this. An unrefusable offer. Attached unit gains bounty. So you put this on an opponent's unit. You can turn around and attack. And if it dies for whatever reason, maybe a sneak attack, maybe a trench run, maybe whatever. But let's say we defeat the unit. We can automatically put it and play it for free onto our side and then attack with it. And then it dies at the regroup phase. So I think there's a lot of potential here. And again, I haven't been able to play test it yet. When I download this, I'm going to have to take the deck list and type it out. But or I'll do a link to it. So all you have to do is open it up. But I need advice on how to change it, how to make it more efficient. I mean, obviously I got to take it down in numbers. I know it's too high in numbers. But this is where I'm at right now. I wanted to test it with what I got and then see how it goes. I really don't care about the wins or losses until I have it tuned up. But this is a good start, and I think it needs a lot of work. I just asked for a thumbs up. There's my thumb. Just please like, share, and subscribe, and we're going to get this channel set. And I'm probably going to change the name to this channel from MTG Dudes to probably Star Wars Dudes or Rebel Dudes or something. Sorry, I was kind of starting to bounce in my seat. But I know this video is kind of a rough outline. I haven't really done much with videos for a long time. I haven't really had time. I've been working extremely hard. I did a couple videos to showcase them. But I want to do decks. I want to get going with the Star Wars stuff. And yeah, I could use feedback on every single one of my videos. What do you guys think? What cards do you like? What cards do you not like? What would you get rid of? What would you sideboard? I think having upgrade and removal will be very important. But I'm all excited about this. This next set, I think there's a lot of abilities to it. And there's a lot of potential. And with all the cards that are in play already, we already know what good cards are generally good and which ones are not. So you take that list and narrow it down. And yeah, I think I have ideas of what I could do to make this deck faster and better. It's just, I don't know, I'm just not at that point where I can really put a lot of time into it yet. Especially since I can't test it on Carabas very easily. So tell me what you guys think. Give me some feedback and we'll go from there. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.